boys?
What's up, Cam?
We're going to talk a little bit about your recent winter in Hawaii. You guys have been saying it was the best one yet, constantly getting amazing waves. Let's talk a little bit about that. 2020, 2021, what made this winter the best you've had?
What made this the best winter yet was the fact that Crosby and I both are staying right on the beach. He was at the Rip Row house, I was at the Billabong house, like 4 doors down from each other. So every morning we just call each other bright and early. All right, let's go here, let's go there. And then we were able to kind of just like stay together and surf together most of the time, which like past winters we haven't been able to do that. And then the waves all winter were like the best we've seen in years. So just that, and then I don't know, we just put in our hours and time out in the water, and we ended up getting on some good waves because of that. So yeah, I'd say that was a good part.
Also, some things that made it a really good winter was I think Griffin and I were both like peaking at the same time, and every time I feel like I would get a good one, Griffin would get a good one, or if Griffin got a good one, then I would get a good one. And just every session I feel like we were just pushing each other so much and surfing for so long that we would just like end up on good waves because he would get one and then I'd have that urge that I would need to get one. And also there's a lot of good swells, and off the wall was kind of my go-to spot if pipe wasn't that good, and I felt like there's a lot of good days at off the wall, so it's pretty sick winter.
Well, first off, my very first favorite wave from the winter was an afternoon backdoor wave where there was one really big one out there. It was almost like kind of almost capping on the second reef, but didn't, and then came straight to me after I'd been waiting like 2 hours. And then I got this right-hander and took off and behind the peak, and it was all like afternoon lighting, like dreamy as it gets, and backdoored this peak, and then was getting barreled, and then saw down the line that there was more opportunity, and I was like almost gonna doggy door it and just call it after the first section, and then I was like, oh wait, there's more. And then so I had to keep going, keep pumping, and I wasn't sure what the wave was gonna do, and everything was like such a surprise, and then I ended up coming out like 100 yards down from where I took off, and it was like one of the longest barrels I've gotten out there. And then my second favorite wave was probably another backdoor that was like 3 weeks later. Just this wave I kind of took off, and it was like a foot overhead, probably 2 feet overhead, I'm not sure, but I took off and it looked like it was going to close out, and I just did one big pump, and I kind of like, there was so much foam I couldn't see, and then I kind of was like closing my eyes for a second and just kind of like going braille, and then I was in the barrel, and it kind of just like was like that, and then went whew. If you watch on the clip looking in, you can see like my butt's super low to the board, and I'm kind of just like up towards the nose and just like riding the energy out of it, and then came out super surprised again, and kind of just was like looking towards the sky, just like what just happened, you know? My third favorite wave was my second trip there. I came home for like 2 weeks, and then I decided to go back for another swell, and there's a big day at Pipe, and right when we showed up it was on shore, super sketchy. Mikey Red ended up hitting his head, got knocked out underwater, got a 2-wave hold down, swallowed water, unconscious, and then got pulled out by the lifeguards, and everyone in the lineup was just absolutely rattled, and we all went to the beach right when that happened to make sure he was all right, and they were like resuscitating him when we got to the beach, and then they luckily brought him back, and yeah, he's all good now, which is awesome. But at the time we were all super scared, and it kind of rattled everyone, and so everyone got out of the lineup, and then we went back to our houses, just kind of like regathered our thoughts, and was kind of just like, whoa, what's going on? And then as we were doing that, the wind started switching offshore, and there was only like 5 guys out at Pipe, and it was starting to be like some of the best pipe we had seen all winter, and no one out. And so we decided, okay, you know what, put that in the past, we got to go out, once in a lifetime opportunity with this little amount of people out. Seth Muniz and I, we paddle out together, straight out. There's only like 1 or 2 other local guys out, and so the waves just are starting to pump, and we're kind of taking turns, and then I just happened to be in like the right rotation of the lineup, and right when I was out there, just a second reefer was coming in, looked like it was gonna break, and then it kind of backed off and then went all onto the first reef, right where I was, it's like all the energy came straight to there. I was on my 6'6" Mayhem, and I was like, okay, just paddle as hard as you can. Did like paddle as hard as I can, didn't really think much. And then as I made the drop, I just like the board kind of just like, I kind of let the board do the work, and it just like scooped the bottom and just got a bunch of drive off the bottom turn. And then I was able to get up under the lip and kind of just like got like enhanced in the barrel, just like, oh, and then the thing just spit its guts out, and I was able to come out. And that one was super special to me because I never really get good lefts out there, so that one will always be in the memory bank.
A couple of my favorite waves from this winter that really stood out to me were my off the wall wave and one of my pipe waves. And my off the wall wave was really special to me because it was the day of the Billabong trials. We paddled out in the morning super early, like before dark. I got one crazy wave that was super early in the morning and nobody got it because it was still like pretty dark out. And then right behind it, probably about 5 minutes later, I saw Griffin paddle into like a crazy wave and get like an absolute just dream wave with a crazy drop. And that kind of fired me up because he had a clip and I didn't. And then I was just watching the pipe trials all day, and I was kind of eyeing out off the wall. I was talking to Seth Moniz, and I was asking him like, what should I do? You think I should paddle out? Because there was no one out, and it definitely picked up a few feet from the morning, and it looked pretty scary. Just whenever no one's out in Hawaii and it's big, it's always scary. And once we made it out, I sat for about 25 minutes, kind of like was feeling it out. Finally, this wave came in, and I kind of going into it, I was like, oh, I'm just pulling into a huge closeout right now. And I was like, if I'm just pulling this one closeout, I might just try to get like styled out and maybe just do one big pump. So I did one big pump, and like I remember just doing one big pump, and I'm like, oh, sick closeout vision. And then I get in it, and it all just goes out in front of me, and I go into this whitewash part, and then it spits, and I'm just like, oh, I'm still on my board. And then as soon as it spits, the spit goes away, and then I can finally see a little opening through the whitewash, and then I squeeze out, and I just saw the little light, and I squeeze out, and then I was just, holy shit, I made it out of that. I was just so baffled. And it was right when the trials was going on, so the whole crowd, there was no one on the beach at pipe, so the whole crowd was at off the wall. So it was pretty special, like coming out, and then everybody saw it was right there. So I was just like, yes.
That was pretty funny too, because I was actually taking a nap in my room, and I heard everyone start screaming, and then I was like, whoa, someone must have got a crazy one in the contest, like kind of like napping. And then I came out like from my nap like an hour later, and Jackson Dorian comes up to me, he's like, your brother got the best wave I've ever seen it off the wall. Best wave anyone's ever got out there for sure. I was like, what, really? Like, no way, I gotta see this clip. And then yeah, I ended up seeing the clip, and I was like pretty blown away. And then that was the night that I ended up going out to Backdoor and getting my super long one. And so then after that day, we were like comparing each other's waves, and Crosby's like, mine's way better than yours. No way, dude, yours is freaking not nearly as long as mine.
Yeah. So it was pretty special, and waves were coming into off the wall, and I went over to off the wall pretty quick, and it was still pretty bad, pretty like morning sickness, Hawaii junkie. And I was sitting off the wall, and then I could see it turning on. I kept seeing like a wave after wave, just each next wave was just getting better and better. And I was like, whoa, I gotta go over there. And then paddled over there. I got one little fun one, and paddled back out. And then when I got back out, I was kind of like on the inside of everyone at pipe, and then this kind of like inside wave came in, and it didn't break too far out, and it came in and kind of like ledged pretty far in, and it had like was sucking up a lot of water, and I was kind of the furthest in, and I was on the inside, and then it was almost like a misto wave. Nobody really looked at it. And then I went, I took off like pretty easy drop, and then pulled up into it and got a little bit too high, and I was like, oh no, I'm too high, and it kind of slapped my butt, and I was like a little too high, and I got super forward over my front foot, and I thought I was like falling for sure, and then it just went wide out from the spit, and I couldn't see anything. And the next thing you know, I was just like kind of like out of it with my head down and I like couldn't see anything. And then I kicked out. I couldn't even really tell that there was like a bunch of spit. And I came out and then I looked out the back and Griffin was all like claiming it for me, like, yeah. And I paddled back out. He's like, you just get the sickest wave ever. I think spit so hard. I was like, fuck, I think.
Well, we got some construction going on, so we gotta take this interview inside.
Good timing.
So the mindset I had in Hawaii this winter, it felt like the best I've ever felt over there. And I think it's due to a lot of changes I had at home before the season started. I had a lot of big learning lessons in my life. And, you know, it just kind of like fired me up to want to work on myself and do the best I can. And so I was on this routine of waking up early. I'd read straight off the bat. Right from there, I'd try and do a little meditation, you know, clear my head. And then after I do that, like every morning, I just feel like my opportunity was just endless opportunity. And, you know, I felt like anything was possible, you know, no restrictions on what could happen out there in the lineup. And when I paddle out, I never had any expectations of, oh, I need to get this wave, or I should be on this wave, or if I don't have a good session right now, I'm going to be bummed. You know, it's just like whatever happens. I'm going out. It's just nice to be out there. And so I felt like that kind of just locked me into just getting on this like rhythm of like getting good waves and just appreciating every wave for what it was. And, you know, I don't know what happened, but I just got on this roll that I couldn't even fathom. It's like, what a wild winter. And Crosby seemed to be on the same roll as well at the same time. So it was like, I don't know, we were kind of just blown away at the whole situation. But we had a really good friend group around us that always kept us happy, laughing a lot, and, you know, good energy with good people. I'd say the highest ups were probably the waves we got, and then some of the downs were like in the Pipe Masters I lost in round 3, and that was a bummer because I was feeling so good and I never ended up doing too well in the contest. And then finding out that Sunset was canceled and like the year was kind of looking sketchy as far as the competitive season goes.
Not too many downs.
Yeah, not too many downs. It was
Honestly.
a good winter, I'd say. Oh, feels so good. That was a good pop. Yeah, buddy. I'd say it's off to Australia. We appreciate the time in Hawaii and the good vibes, but we're gonna go grovel.
Off to Oz.
Australia.
When are we going to Oz?
We're going today, but we're really going in 15 days, 16 days.
Yeah. 2-week quarantine.
Flights today, 2-week quarantine right when we get there. All right, boys. Thank you.
All right.
Felt like there was a lot of momentum this winter.
Able to go out and kind of just
Waves from this winter in Hawaii.
Oh, that was fun.